So this is a Midbie Arena that I played on the server Tulak Hord for Galactic Seasons. Like many of those matches, it started 3 versus 3, sometimes it's even less, which is unfortunately not uncommon in the leveling brackets, especially during certain times of day. But at least it was an equal number of players on both sides, which is not always guaranteed. Though I was still worried because the other team had more DPS. I mean, we had a healer and they didn't, which should have given us an advantage, you would think. But I also recognized a name on the enemy team, specifically that of the operative called Koja, or however you're meant to pronounce it, because I had seen them in other matches beforehand. And they had done really high DPS, and I didn't have the same sort of positive impression of my teammates. I didn't think they were bad, but I didn't recognize their names as being as good as this operative was, so I was like, uh-oh, that operative is gonna kill us all. It's probably gonna be a loss, but okay, let's see how it goes.
Get in there and go berserk!
So this is not the best start as we're getting split up here, which is not ideal. But so far there was no sign of the operative. And I tried to get onto the bridge here, which is great for knocking people off and getting them out of the way, though I failed in this one here. Now the operative has come out of hiding and is trying to use our sage friend. But the tank is doing a very good job of controlling the enemy. So they are not, they can't stay on our sage friend all the time. Now when I'm not stunned, I'm trying to heal him as well, but he is taking a lot of damage, so it is a bit worrying already at this point. You can see he's getting quite low there, but no. Again, I'm guessing the tank taunted, though he kept the guard on me. Even so, he's trying very hard to protect the sage, and it's paying off. Unfortunately, we haven't really done much damage to them. As you can see, the operative went into hiding there to heal up a bit, but still, considering they have no official healer, it's quite surprising how little damage was done. Anyway, here I went for a nuke trying to help the sage kill the operative, but she's just unkillable and in fact stunning me and making me come back trying to get the sage down. It is a very dangerous situation again, but she's also in danger from dying, and in this case tried to run away and save her own hide actually. Meanwhile, our tank friend here has just been doing a bang-up job and in fact has nearly killed one of the other guys. And here he does, which is incredible to me, so I'm like, wow. Could this be a win after all? Now there's only 2 of them left. That is just the sound cue for us getting a 4th player who was instantly killed, obviously, because that's how it works if you join mid-match. And here again, another push on the sage, but there's only 2 of them left, so it seems quite promising at this point. But here we have gotten split up again big time, and this is in fact bad because the sage is on the other side of the map, and you can see me trying to run and save him. But I'm too late and he dies. Now it's 2 versus 2. Tank and healer versus 2 DPS. Sorry, another tank and DPS. So I'm like, well, I'm not sure how that's gonna go. I mean, our tank has been doing amazing in terms of doing protection and doing DPS, but the operative is also still there and, you know, doing damage, crowd controlling me there. So I figure me and the tank can stay alive for a long time, but I'm not sure we have the DPS together to kill the operative, because she's obviously self-healing on top of doing damage, so we're just not making any headway. She also got the tank's bubble on her, so we just can't get a lot done. At this point you can see there's only a little over a minute left of the match. So naturally you start thinking, well, what's gonna happen if we go to the sudden death phase? Because this phase usually favors DPS over healers, because obviously the healing gets reduced but damage after doesn't. So at this point I'm like, well, they can't kill us at the moment, but as soon as sudden death comes, my healing is gonna degrade and their damage isn't. So they are gonna kill us before we have a chance to kill them, and I will be able to keep up with their damage. But of course I keep trying. The tank clearly keeps trying, doing a really great job. But that operative is just unkillable, and obviously the other guy is a tank, so not a great target either for an easy kill.
Time's almost up this round, and there's a tie! No time!
Right, so here the sudden death gets announced with 15 seconds to go. So naturally the thing to do is to get into the middle of the map. That was the other team getting the fourth person. So we were officially the tie, so my instinct is to move onto the bridge to get at least away from the gas for a little while. And I try to heal the tank up as much as I can still before my healing really degrades. But it's not looking great. Now obviously the operative's healing also suffers, and she's inspecting heals, but still, so you can see the gas is starting to really do damage. We're on half health, so is the DPS of the other team. The heals are holding up better than expected, but tank is going down. I can't keep him up much longer. And there he goes, and I'm like, oh no. One healer versus 2 DPS. But I tried to give it one last shot. I'm just like, I can't heal myself. I can't keep myself alive. Can I just do a little bit of damage to them? And here I managed to knock them off. And one of them dies. And then the last guy runs towards me, and I managed to finish him off as well. I actually had to type lol into chat there because it was so ridiculous. One healer versus 2 DPS. And all of us close to death. But I managed to finish them off somehow, which was pretty funny. So then round 2 was less exciting because we had 2 teams of 4. Now both teams had a healer and a tank each. And I mean, we didn't really know what to expect now. 3 versus 3 we were about equal, but then the question is there a new 4th player really good, really bad? Is our 4th player really good, really bad? It could shift the tide either way. And you can see here they're all bunched up, so we do a bit of AoE damage. And they've already got the enemy Sage to bubble. Might have been a bit early if you ask me, but... So the pressure's clearly on, because I've just been healing away, and there in fact they managed to kill the operative. Which is kind of funny that they managed to kill the operative more quickly with a healer than without. I mean, we did have the extra DPS this round, but still. So I guess we were the lucky ones here in that we got a pretty good 4th, and their 4th was not as strong. Or maybe the operative just slash-stuck it because they didn't want another endless match, who knows. Anyway, so this one finished with a pretty decisive victory for my team, but it was still remarkable the way that first round went. It's just me and the tank staying alive for so long against the 2 DPS and eventually beating them in the sudden death phase.
Frog dog down! Frog dog down! Game
You can see here that the heal that they got
humiliate the frog dogs.
in the last round did very little healing actually before dying.
Thanks you for your
While our
brutality.
new
Play again
DPS
sometime.
was the top DPS in that final round, so it actually made the teams more uneven to add a fourth person to each group.